Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I am hanging out here and trying to figure my life out. I hope everything's going well for you. I wanted to talk about something that I just saw in the news today. And as I get ready and get set up, do this for me. If you're anywhere on social media,
And um,
uh if you're on YouTube or anywhere else, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever the case might be, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the like button, and all that good stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to invite people into the live stream via text. If you want to get text notifications when I go live, this is very, very important um, when you're black, you're kind of a bandit. Like when you get all radical and stuff, they always want to ban your channel and stuff because you said something that offended some white people, or sometimes black people get mad and they try to say you're promoting hate speech because you told them that you love black people and black people should have our own businesses, or that integration was not good for black people. That's another thing I've said that's gotten me in trouble. I don't believe integration was good for black people. I believe black people were better off when we had our own businesses, when we had our own schools, when we had our own communities. I don't think we're better off now. So if you want to get notified via text, somebody please type this in so other people can have the information. Text the word voice to 31996. Text the word voice to 31996. 31996. Just text in my name, type in voice, and send it to 31996, and then you'll get text notifications periodically when I go live and stuff like that. So the topic for today is really interesting. It has to do with the rapper Drake. And basically the rapper Drake, he sued this woman for falsely accusing him of rape. Um, and and I thought this story was really interesting because you guys have heard me talk about this before, where I kind of think that in this whole era of the Me Too movement, I think that we've done a huge disservice to everybody by sort of assuming that anytime anybody's accused of anything that involves sexual assault, that it must be true. Um, and now let's see. Rasak says, "Thanks for shouting out Nigerians." Well, yeah. I mean, Nigerian culture is actually defined, at least according to the Tiger Mom's research, which, take it for what it is. She said that Nigerians actually have the most superior culture in the world because they actually have a few elements that she mentioned define a culture or a community to actually take the lead and be ahead of other people. One was what is it? A sense of I could have sworn she said something like a sense of superiority, like you feel like your culture is just better. You just feel like that you are the chosen ones, which is a good thing. Is self-esteem. Another is the ability to delay gratification, meaning making sacrifices and investments today to succeed in the future. African Americans struggle because we don't have in our culture a willingness to sacrifice today so we can have more tomorrow. A lot of people want to live it up today and then they go broke tomorrow, or you got babies mamas tomorrow because you decided you wanted to go hit it today, or you have all these problems tomorrow with your health, diabetes, and heart disease because you want to eat the fried chicken today. So delayed gratification is not really something that's big in black culture, but really that's all investing is. Y'all hear me talk about investing all the time. All investing is delayed gratification, and every study pretty much shows that children, even at the age of 4 or 5, if they show an ability to delay gratification at an early age, those children are more successful than children who can't delay gratification. Delayed gratification basically means I'm going to live today like nobody else will, so I can live tomorrow like nobody else can. I'm going to sacrifice a whole lot today so I can have 10 times more tomorrow. I'm going to do some shit that you ain't willing to do. I'm gonna go there like you ain't willing to go there. I'm gonna be about that life right now so I can live a different life from you later on down the line. So if you want to know the secret to success, that's huge. Learn how to delay gratification so you can be like the Nigerians, because they some bad sons of bitches. I tell you what, the Nigerian culture is a beautiful, powerful culture. It ain't perfect though. Y'all know it ain't perfect. Y'all know about the corruption in Nigeria now. And I'm gonna get back to the topic, I swear to God. But I have to tell you this. I went to Nigeria, and when I was in Nigeria, I had been warned about, some of the corruption. And I remember I was in the airport, and the TSA agent, I pushed my bags through, and the TSA agent stands in front of me, and she says, I can't let your bag go through. And I said, oh, you got to search my bag? Okay, well, where's the search area? And then she just repeats, she says, I cannot let your bag go through. And I'm like, okay, what I got to do? Let my bag go through. And the guy behind me, he said, "You're American, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What she's saying is that you have to give her some tip." That's what he said, some tip. But that meant like give her some money, pay her off, give her a little bribe, and then she'll let my bag go through. Suddenly my bag is safe to get on the airplane. And I gave her a tip. It wasn't that much. I mean, the amount of money was probably like the equivalent of 50 cents. But it was still kind of like, hold up now, wait a minute, this is some bullshit. But besides that part, I think if Nigeria could kind of deal with that, like just sort of weed out that corruption, I think it would be the greatest culture on earth. I mean, I don't know many Nigerian people who are not at the top of the class and becoming doctors, lawyers, and professors and everything else. So if you ever want your children to get ahead educationally, pay attention to what Nigerian families do with their kids when it comes to education. It's better than anybody, better than the Jews, better than the Asians, better than everybody. So anyway, shout out to Nigerians. I love you guys, even though y'all need to fix that corruption issue. Now, what's up, Dual? I see Dual Victories in here. Dual, you sent me a Facebook message and I wanted to let you know I am on a 30-day Facebook ban. I am currently right now in Facebook jail. I'm calling you from the jailhouse phone. I need y'all to put money on my books. I need y'all to come and call me and come visit me so we can talk through the little glass with the phone. Because right now I'm in Facebook jail. I can't respond to anything on Facebook. And Facebook is great because what they do is they're like, okay, we want to really mess with people's heads. So we're going to have their friends send them messages and you can read the message, but you cannot reply. So Dual, that's why I did not reply to you, because I can't respond to anything on Facebook right now. I can't post anything. I can't do anything on Facebook. So that's another reason why you should follow me via text message, because Facebook could easily delete my account entirely. I have millions of people on Facebook. I have about almost 100,000 people on my personal page, but then we have about 4.8 million on other pages, that many of which people don't even know that we own, because I don't want anybody knowing my business like that. But then also on YouTube, by the way, YouTube, thank you. A big shout out to the subscribers on the Your Black World YouTube channel. We just crossed the 300,000 subscriber mark. And it's because you guys love us and support us, and we love you too. And we're going to keep on growing and keep on pushing and using our platform to elevate Black people. We want to use our platform to help Black people be better. We want to give you information. We want to empower you. We want to educate you. We want to make you strong. And so basically, our YouTube channel for Your Black World has just hit 300,000. So thank you guys very much for your support. Now, let me hop into this top conversation about Drake. Okay. And Dual, please type in the text number 31996. You can text the word voice to 31996 if you want me to reach out to you via text message when I go live and stuff like that. Text the word voice to 31996. Okay. All right, Jane, she says, I look forward to these lives. Well, I look forward to talking to you too, sister. So now let me get to the topic, because y'all know how people get mad at me because I talk about whatever comes to mind. All right, so Drake the rapper. Drake is in this interesting situation that involves a woman named Layla Lace or something. And when I heard the name Layla Lace, I was like, oh, is that the porn star that he had the baby with? Because that sounds like a porn star name, right? Who has a name like Layla Lace? What the fuck is that? And then I saw the picture of the lady, and she had all these damn plastic body parts. Like, I got to show y'all a screen share of this woman. Like, she's a real interesting looking person. I'll just say that she's real interesting. Like, she looks like literally, like if you put a flame to her booty, it would melt and turn to liquid, because it's like made out of, like, it looks like it's made out of plastic. So anyway, Layla Lace, this lady, and I Googled like this lady on Google Images, and I'm trying to find the picture I saw of her. Here we go. Here's a good one. This is crazy. This is so Layla Lace, the lady who looks like she's got all kinds of plastic body parts, she apparently was a love interest of Drake, right? Oh crap. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I hit a button, and when I do that, bad things happen. So let me try it again. All right. So Layla Lace is this woman who apparently Drake, the rapper Drake, had sex with her about a year and a half ago. He's a young rapper. He's got all the money, all the power, all the fame, which he's still too young to understand. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he does know this now, but maybe he's still too young to understand that all this fame and all this money and all this, access to all these different people and women and everything can actually be as much of a curse as it is a blessing, right? It's almost like a little fat kid that gets all the candy he wants. He's probably going to get like diabetes and die. but it doesn't matter in the moment because it's like candy. Like, why would you complain about getting candy? So you look at this picture of Layla Lace. Layla, I'm gonna show you guys on Instagram real quick. Let me flop my phone around so you can see, kind of look at her. You know, super looking all super thick and bootylicious and everything. I don't think those are real body parts. I spent a lot of time in Colombia in the last couple of weeks, and in Colombia they have a lot of plastic surgery and stuff like that. So a lot of the women look like that. A lot of the women have these very unnatural body parts, kind of like she does. So so that's the thing that made me think maybe she's another porn star. For like, I don't think her mother named her Layla Lace. And also, I mean, look at that. Here's another. Is this a better picture? Look at that booty. Like, that doesn't even look like a normal booty. Like, that literally looks like she just shoved a bunch of 4-year-olds in her ass, and it's like all popping up and out of control and all of that stuff. So so I guess Drake likes that kind of thing. Me personally, you know, if it ain't natural and God didn't give it to you, then you can't take credit for a booty that wasn't born and attached to your body when you were a baby. Like, it just means nothing to me. And plastic titties, I assume they probably feel like you know, little plastic footballs or something. I don't know, but that it just doesn't do anything for me. But for Drake, apparently that's his thing, and he's Drake. My God, he's a musical genius. So I guess he had however many fake booties he wants. You know, they just supply whatever he wants and as many women and all that. Well, here's the thing. So Drake slept with Layla Lace apparently back in when was it? I want to say it was back like February, maybe that's when they got it in. And Drake, you know, he ran into a crazy one. He ran into a woman that apparently, according to TMZ, thought they had a relationship. And so Layla, first thing she does is she comes out and after she's okay, well, just I'll give you all the information. 7 Miles says Drake is a plastic nigga. That's funny. Well, he ain't no rapper. He's like a singer or something. I don't know. He's not a. I know what real rappers look like. You know, like Jay-Z is a real rapper. J. Cole is a real rapper. Kendrick Lamar is a real rapper. Eminem is a real rapper. Drake ain't no rapper. Drake is like this guy who sings these harmonic melodies and everyone loves them, and he makes a lot of money, but he's not a rapper, right? He probably die in a battle rap. And if you made him freestyle, he'd probably like throw up on his shoes, right? So Drake is not a real rapper, but he's successful, right? He's a good singer or something, right? So anyway, Drake, the singer, got caught in a situation with this woman, and they showed the text messages. TMZ got a copy of the text messages between him and this woman. And now I'm getting to a point here. This is not me just being gossipy about Drake's personal life. This is me hitting on an issue that I've actually tapped on many, many times, that has to do with brothers out here getting into situations and making themselves vulnerable, but also this whole Me Too shit, how the Me Too movement has gone wrong, where it goes wrong. And and when the Me Too movement goes wrong, it doesn't just hurt you know, the Me Too movement itself. It's hurting all of us, right? It's hurting all of the victims out here who really are victims of sexual assault, because what you've done is you created this sort of free-for-all where anybody can accuse anybody of anything. Anybody can accuse anybody of anything and destroy them permanently. Right now, the former head of the Centers for Disease Control, I forgot the doctor's name, he's a white guy. He literally has had his 30-year career ruined on the cover of the New York Times because a woman accused him of grabbing her butt 9 months ago. I don't see any evidence of the alleged butt grab. And also, I'm just trying to figure out if we as a society, we just have to be real clear. Have we decided that if, let's say he grabbed her butt and thought that it was cool and it wasn't, and she said, don't grab my butt anymore. I think we have to really look at this and say, have we gotten to the point as a society where we've gotten so crazy that we think a butt grab is the same as a rape? Have we gotten so ridiculous that we really think that a woman who, you know, who heard an uncomfortable comment from a man is the same as somebody who was raped at gunpoint? It ain't the same damn thing. It's insanity. It's ridiculous. So here's the text message. So the text messages are here. I've already shared the screen here. I'm gonna read some of this to you for people, for folks on Instagram. So Drake is texting with this lady, Layla Lace. I think that's her name. Yeah, Layla. Here we go. Layla Lace. I'll make sure I said her name right, because the name sounds so stupid. I keep thinking that I got it wrong. That I maybe her name was like Cindy Smith or something. Like it's a normal name, Tasha Williams, but no, it's Layla Lace. Um, and just brothers, like, don't be sleeping with no women named Layla Lace, man. Women with names like Layla Lace, like they probably got at least about 4 or 5 diseases. Like seriously, like they probably got, like, you can't tell me. I would be willing to bet you $10 million. Layla Lace, she probably at least got, herpes, probably not had gonorrhea or chlamydia a couple times. Whatever, like really, really. Okay, let me keep going. So she texts him. The first text, right? Just the first text alone is enough of a text that you should, as a man, you should be very concerned when you get a text like this. The first text alone said that she could possibly be a little bit crazy. The first text says, "I miss you already." It looks like it's not a smiley face. It's like a sad face. So she's sad because he's gone. It's the day after Valentine's Day. So if you fucked her on Valentine's Day, man, that's like a double whammy, dude. Like you went even deeper into the rabbit hole if you did that. And she sends a sad face and a bunch of little hearts, right? A bunch of little hearts. And so he gets this text, and then she texts him back. Let me see. The first text was at 8:45 p.m. on the 15th. Then she texts him the next day at 2:44. And she says, "You okay? ... Right? So she was expecting a text right back, apparently, when she texts him on the 15th. And the fact that she says, "I miss you already," seems to say to me that they recently got together, right? Like, you ever heard somebody say that? Like, like, "Oh, I miss you already." Like that, like they say that usually if you just walked out the door. You know what I mean? Like you just left the house. Right? Like, "Oh, I miss you already." I've gotten a text like that. Like like Dr. Alicia, the beautiful Black queen that's next to me. Like she would text me stuff like that. "Oh, I miss you already." And it'll usually be like right after I got on the plane or right after I went to my apartment, something like that, right? So that's what she's doing. So it sounds like they got together probably like either that day or maybe on Valentine's Day, which is huge. Like you can't play with a woman's head like that, especially a crazy woman. Like you cannot do that, right? So anyway, so she says, "You okay?" Then he texts back and he says, "Yeah, I've been sick, got a cold." Now he waits till the next day to text her back, by the way. He texts her the next morning at 6:20 a.m. He says, "Yeah, got a cold. Yeah, I've been sick, got a cold. How you are doing? Wait, hope you are good, love. Hope you are good, love." So you use the word love. Don't use the L word if you ain't, at least kind of serious. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just, I don't use the L word. I believed in using the L word unless you really have a reason to use it. But she says, "Hope you're good, love." And then she says, I assume she probably texts him right back, because I mean, you got a text from Drake. That's a big deal. "Oh, I hope you feel better. I'm sick as well. I caught a cold too." So I guess they caught the same cold. She's forming this connection. She's got a little emoji with a little kiss, like mwah, 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 whatever, and like literally, I agree with you, Marcy. Like she sounds like she's already like a little anxious, like a poodle that's been left in the house by himself for too long or whatever. And so, and now she's like, trying to reestablish the bond. So then he says, "Hope to see you soon." Again, setting up false hope. You can't do that. Like, what was that song he had? The song was called Forever, where he says something like, "I go to the mall telling every girl she's the one for me, but I don't even bother to call," or something like that, or whatever. Like, first of all, that's just evil, right? You shouldn't do that to people. That makes you a bad person if you behave that way. You can't, you just can't do that. You can't do that. But then number two, it's a dangerous game to play. It's a very dangerous game for a Black man to play, because you got crazy women out here. You have a lot of women out there who were abandoned by their fathers. Think about that for a minute. A lot of these women out here were abandoned by their fathers. Their father, the first man who ever loved them, left them, and they haven't recovered from that. You got women who unfortunately have been left off balance from that since they were 3 years old. So, you know, unfortunately, it causes a lot of problems. There's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the Black community. I'd be willing to bet you that Linda Lace, whatever her name is, I bet you she doesn't have a good relationship with her father. I bet you her dad is a deadbeat, or he ain't around, or whatever. I doubt. I would be willing to bet every penny that she did not grow up in like a normal two-parent household where she had a loving father who always validated her emotionally. I would be willing to bet anything that she didn't. So when you got, this broken person, who was abandoned by the first man who ever loved her, who's had trouble trusting since then, who is looking for every new man she meets to replace what her father took away from her when he left, you're really kind of playing with fire. Now, I'm not here to say that you have to always accommodate that. I'm not here to say that that's even your problem, to be honest with you. It's not your problem. The problem with that is, number one, it's unethical to go play with her head and to say something like what he said here, like, I hope to see you soon. That makes it sound like you're planning to call her or you're planning to come visit her soon. Like, don't say that if that's not what you believe. And the reason I say that is not just because it's unethical, but also because she's got a big weapon, a nuclear weapon in her hand that she can drop on your ass at any moment. And that weapon is called the Me Too movement. She's got a weapon that can destroy your life and put you in prison for the next 50 years. All she's got to do in this current environment, especially if you're a Black man, is say he raped me. That right there for a lot of men is enough of a missile to destroy everything you've ever worked for your whole entire life. Doesn't matter if it's true, if it's not true. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People don't care about truth anymore. It ain't about truth. It's about the fact that you've been accused. And once you've been accused, half of your friends are going to say, I wonder if he really did do that shit. I had a friend that used to be on a lot of TV shows. He's a real handsome man. Women loved him. He loved the ladies. He got around. He got it in. I'm not judging at all. And he had a similar situation. He got with a girl. They had a special night together, and then he got, after he was done, he kind of got right back to work, and she called him the next day. She texted him the next day like, hey, I miss you already. What you doing tonight? And he said, oh, I'm busy. I'll hit you later. And then 2 days later, she's texting again like, hey, you said you'd hit me back. Are when are we going to get together? And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm just so busy, I don't have time. And then the third text she sent him is, you raped me. You are a rapist, right? And he's like, what are you talking about? I didn't rape you. It didn't matter. And you know what she did? Apparently she must have been somehow connected to him business-wise, because he would send emails out to a lot of his business associates. And he did it the old school way, where all the email addresses were right there, where anybody could email back to everybody that you just emailed. And she sent the email to all the people on this list and said, he is a rapist. He raped me. And, I can't report to the police because the police won't believe me, but I just want everybody to know that he's a rapist. And next thing you know, a lot of his professional friends started distancing themselves from him because they too didn't want to get caught in Me Too. Me Too is like Me Too. I need to get the hell away from you, right? A lot of men won't associate with other men who've been even suspected of being engaged in some sort of sexual assault, because they're scared. They don't want to get falsely accused. So everybody's kind of afraid to really speak up on this, because everybody's afraid of being accused of something, right? Because now we treat an accusation like it is a conviction. So anyway, so let's go back to Drake. All right, so Drake, I'm looking at this text message, and if I was Drake's older brother, his manager, his mentor, his friend, I would have said from text one, literally from text one, I would have said, do not even respond to this woman. Don't even text back. Don't give her anything to work with, because what's going to happen is she seems like a person who's going to take every little thing that comes out of your mouth and she's going to make it into something that it's not. She, in her mind, could be a person. There are people, I've seen people You honestly, it's usually women, but men, we got our own brand of crazy. We are not putting the crazy label solely on the women here. So, but that's another conversation. But because I talk to my daughters all the time about crazy ass men and what you got to look out for. But with a lot, I've seen this happen where I don't know where it comes from, but there are some people who have such active imaginations that they will literally make up a whole relationship in their head. And the craziest thing about it is, or the saddest thing for a guy like Drake is, the more of a dreamboat you are, the more the further the fantasy will extend. So in her mind, think about this, pay attention. For Drake, it's like, okay, another chick, another city, I'm just getting it in, I'm just being young, I'm just doing what I do. But the problem is that, for most people who meet Drake, that is literally the biggest day of their whole entire life. Literally. So you're Drake, right? You're in the grocery store and you walk up to a random person and you say, can you show me where the carrots are? And you move and they say, oh my God, you're Drake. Okay, yeah, the carrots are over there, right? So Drake is like, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. So Drake goes and gets the carrots. Drake doesn't remember this moment ever again because he's Drake every day. He's living these moments all the time. That person who showed him where the carrots are is going to remember that moment for the next 30 years. If they shook his hand, they might say, oh my God, I'm not going to wash my hand. Or I got this autograph from Drake. I put it on my wall and he was asking me where the carrots were. And I could tell he liked the really orange carrots because I showed him the carrots that weren't as orange. And he said, ugh, I don't want those. Right? That's what people do. Right? So when you talk about something as intimate and as powerful as sex, I think that a lot of young guys have to really be educated to understand, the power of what a sexual experience does to the minds of some women, especially if you are a person as well known as Drake. He's handsome, he's famous, he's powerful, he's a multimillionaire. Linking up with Drake, even on a microscopic level, is enough to change a person's life forever. Even if Drake hires you to come and be his hairstylist or to be his barber, like that can change your life. You can literally make millions of dollars off that because now you can go tell everybody I cut Drake's hair. Now everybody wants you to get their hair cut from you. You can now, instead of charging $10 a cut, you can charge $50 a cut. And next thing you know, you're doing well financially because Drake let you cut his hair. So that's a lot of power. And what I think is that people in that position may not always know about the power that they wield or how to use it responsibly. I went through an experience like that when I was, I have a big problem with alcoholism. I don't have a problem with people who drink, but I have a problem with the promotion of alcoholism on college campuses. And I remember I used to be on this listserv with the Black law students at Syracuse University. And I noticed that every single time that they would send out an email to the listserv of the students in the law school, every single email was, join us for happy hour. We got free drinks. Come on out and get some liquor, get some beer, drink. And I just got pissed off. It annoyed me because I got motherfuckers in my family who can't stop drinking. I've been hurt and severely harmed in my life by relatives and loved ones who couldn't put down the bottle. I've seen children disappointed by parents who drink way too damn much because daddy's gonna pass out in the front yard so he can't take you to the fair. Like, I hate that shit. It pisses me off. And I look and I study the history of alcoholism and what it's done. Alcohol, you don't know this, but alcohol is actually the most dangerous drug in the world. It's more dangerous than heroin, more dangerous than crack, more dangerous than crystal meth when you measure based on the physical effects, psychological effects, family devastation, loss of wealth and income, and deaths. Right? Alcohol is number one. It dominates every other drug. So one thing I said was I didn't say much. I didn't want to be like the spoil sport, because when you come in with some real shit like that, people get mad and they think you don't want to have fun. They mad because you ended the party. But I just sent a little note back. All I did on the little listserv, and all I said is, maybe we can have an event where we're not always pushing them toward alcohol, right? Like, that's all I said was I was just like, maybe we can do something else. Maybe we can go have a soul food cookout. You know what I mean? Like, why does everything have to, or maybe we can get together and, my God, maybe we get together and discuss something intellectual I know that's forbidden for black people. I know black people are not intellectual. We're not supposed to be smart, but God damn it, maybe we can try, right? I know pigs can't fly. I know cows can't read, but maybe we're as dumb as dogs. But maybe we can get together and have an intellectual conversation with these young black students to teach them that there's something more to life than just meeting up for happy hour, right? Or maybe we can talk about something related to the community. Maybe we can do some activism. We can do something that's going to help black people get better. You're black lawyers. There's niggas in jail. Maybe we can help some of them out. Maybe we can focus on something other than getting turned up every damn weekend. Seriously. Whoa, boy. When I sent that message out, woo, it was a mess. I started a fire with that note. Next thing I know, people are offended. I get a long drawn out response from the president of the Black Law Student Association, who I think was mortified that Dr. Boyce Watkins had, said something that was deemed to be critical of the law school. I got a note from one of the other faculty, the black faculty member who was the head of the head of the association or whatever. And he basically is arguing with me in front of all the students on this listserv, and saying, well, they're just trying to have fun and, quit being such a hard ass and blah, 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 blah. But the thing about it, here's the thing. This dude himself, I believe, was an alcoholic. This guy, I went to dinner with this dude and my dad was there. My dad's a detective. My dad was a detective at the time. Detectives can see shit. The detectives can see through walls. They observe everything. And my dad literally, he said, he was talking about, he assessed everybody that was there. And he said, that guy, he's an alcoholic. He downed 6 drinks before dinner was over. Never tell him any of your secrets because an alcoholic can't keep no damn secrets. Right. And so this dude was an alcoholic, and now, so I felt justified in what I said. But what that experience did for me was it taught me the power of my words. It taught me that, because I was Dr. Boyce Watkins, whatever that means to anybody, I can't just say and do everything everybody else does. I'm not Drake. I'll never be Drake. I'm not as famous nor as rich as Drake. And I'm not as handsome. I think I'm smarter than Drake. But then again, though, if I was as smart as him, maybe I'd be able to go out and sing and make $10 trillion too. I don't know. But at the same time, I've met people who literally said, and I've heard this multiple times, who said, things like, meeting you is bigger than meeting Michael Jackson. If Michael Jackson were here and you were here, I'd want to meet you. I've heard that. I've signed enough autographs where my hand hurt after I got done signing autographs. I've seen a line of people, 400, 500 people long, where I had to sign books one after the other and thinking, my God, I'm so tired. I can't keep signing these books. So I know that feeling a little bit. And honestly, this is where trying to be humble is not always beneficial, because in my humility, or in the humility I tried to maintain, because I never want to be a hoity-toity type person, it caused me to not understand my power. My manager, my ex-manager actually said to me, she said, you seem to be the only person who doesn't know how famous you are. And I was like, I'm not famous. I'm not Will Smith. I don't go to the mall and get mobbed, but the point is that when you're a person that has influence and power over another person, that you've got to be thoughtful about every single thing that comes out of your mouth, every single thing you do. So for a Drake, it's Boyce Watkins times 100, right? For a Drake, you engage in something as powerful as sex with another person, you're opening up a whole Pandora's box. You open up an alternative universe for that person that you're sleeping with, because sex is a powerful, intimate experience that, especially if it's good sex. I read up about this. I read books about sex and what it does to the brain. And sex, actually, if a woman has an orgasm, it releases exhaustive amounts of oxytocin in her brain, which forms a really powerful bond that woman has to you, similar to the bond she has when she has a child. Now, the bond between mother and child is the ultimate bond. That's because of so much oxytocin that's come out of the brain. But about maybe a third of that or half of that is what comes out when she has sex with a man, especially if it's good sex. Now, y'all think good sex is just about, oh yeah, the dick was good and it was good fucking. No. Good sex also enhances a bond because it increases the amount of oxytocin released in the brain of the woman, which causes her to be more connected and more attracted to that man. That's why some of y'all women have attractions to men that you can't even stand. You hate the fact that you love him so much, right? Or you're washing his dirty drawers the next day and you don't even know why. Well, it's because of oxytocin. That's the culprit. So if anybody ever asks you why that happens, you can explain that. Have them come watch this video. So here's the thing with Drake. All right. So with Drake, and by the way, make sure you hit the like button, share button, subscribe button. And if you're on YouTube, take 1 second, hit the thumbs up button. And I want to remind everybody before I move on, the All Black National Convention is next weekend. If you want to come to the All Black National Convention, you can join us at allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. It happens in Philadelphia. The live stream is there. Also, if you want to check that out, Jewel, can you put the link also to the live stream? People at abncdigital.com. If you want to check out the live stream, you can go to abncdigital.com. So let me keep going. All right. So the thing with Drake is this. Look, I don't think that blaming Drake for this crazy woman that he has to sue now because she falsely accused him of rape, I don't think that blaming Drake is the most appropriate course of action. You know, because that would be victim blaming. That's victim blaming, victim shaming, all these other crazy words that some of these white feminists have come up with, right? That's victim blaming because clearly he's the victim, right? If there's no evidence that this woman was ever pregnant, no evidence that she was raped, and there is evidence that she perhaps was vindictive, then it would be victim blaming for me to tell Drake, like, hey, man, you know, it was your fault that this happened. I'm not going to say any of that. But what I am going to say is the same thing I would say to any victim on the other side of the fence, a sexual assault victims. I'd say, you know, you do have some power to avoid situations that could be harmful to you. Anybody with common sense is going to tell you that. People that don't have common sense, that are being political, are going to say, no, you should never tell a woman to avoid situations. She should do whatever she wants to do. You should tell men to stop raping. That's dumb. That's bullshit. That's overly political. A smart Black mother would tell her daughter, like, look, baby, you know, don't go to these frat houses and get drunk to the point where you don't know where you're at and you're going to pass out on the middle of the floor, because bad things happen to women who put themselves in those situations. Doesn't mean you're saying it's okay. It just means you're saying, I need you to be okay. You know, right? So the same thing I'd say to Drake. I'm not going to victim blame and say, oh, it's your fault that this happened and blah, 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 blah. But it is enough for me to say to a Drake, like, hey, man, you got some crazy chicks out here, man. You know, most Black women, wonderful people, beautiful people, all that good stuff. But you got a couple crazy ones in here, just like for women. You got a few. You know, most Black men are good men. Most Black men would never harm you. Most Black men, if you pass out on the floor, they're going to pick you up, carry you home, or get you to your friends. But you got a few crazy motherfuckers in the pack. You got a few guys that are going to say, the pussy is unguarded. I'm going to go get some, and she won't even know what happened because she's knocked out. So you must be protected from that. Same thing with Drake. Most Black women are wonderful. Most Black women are sweet. But you got a few women out here, unfortunately, for whatever unresolved issue they have, are going to, you know, cling on to you in an unhealthy way because you're Drake, by God. I mean, you're the greatest singer that's just out here. You're not a real rapper, but you're singing them into like romantic oblivion. And you are a person that is, is somebody that can change their life. So ultimately, they're going to kind of latch on to you. They're probably going to want, a little more from you, that's not going to, that you may not be able to deliver. You may not be able to be the husband or the boyfriend or the romantic lover that she's hoping that you are. So you got to be careful with your power. Right. So basically, here's the thing. So let's go deeper. So Linda Lace, or Layla Lace, that's her name. Apparently in Manchester, England, she gladly performed oral sex. So I don't know if it means they had regular sex, but I guess she took care of him. And so he sends her these text messages the day after Valentine's Day, or she says, I miss you already. He says, and then she says, you okay? This is the next day. You okay is like, not really like, are you okay? You okay kind of means like, why didn't you respond to me? Right? That's what that is. That's like a cry for help. So the next morning he sends the lifeline, yeah, I've been sick, got a cold, hope you're good, love. And then she responds, oh, I hope you feel better. Emoji, kissy heart, whatever the hell that thing's called. I'm sick as well. I caught a cold too. So then let me see. It looks like later on that night, he says, hope to see you soon. Big mistake by Drake because he's creating false hope with this woman. And then she responds, I assume she probably responded right away because that's what people do when they're excited. So let me see. His text was 6:40 p.m. Okay, so she waited. She played it cool. She probably wanted to respond right away because it's Drake and she loves him. Right in her mind, maybe she's married, already visualized marriage or kids or something. I don't know. And or at the very least, he's like a big come up. With a name like Layla Lace, like again, I don't even think that's a real name. That sounds like a stage name. She also has all these fake body parts, so it wouldn't surprise me if she's a stripper, a hooker, or a whatchamacallit, a porn star, right? I'm not saying she is, but seriously, her name's Layla Lace. That's probably not her real name. She's got all these plastic body parts, which probably puts her in that category, right? Of either stripper, hooker, porn star, or all three, all of the above, right? So why is that important? Why does that matter? It matters for a couple of reasons. One, women in that category tend to, they tend to be attracted to men who have money. She want that paper. Seriously. Like she's, like I don't know about her, but like I was only in the strip club one time. I had to go for my brother's bachelor party and I wasn't gonna leave his side. And it was a really fascinating place to go. I was really actually impressed with the athleticism of strippers. I talked to one of them and she told me she used to do cheerleading and gymnastics. And I said, I'm not surprised because you're very, very fit. And I'm surprised how you were able to get up that pole and just use your legs to pull yourself down. You're really impressive to me. Like, so I'm the nerd like that. But the thing is, I do also know that they get excited about money. Like you've ever seen that where like they hear the ballers are coming into the club tonight. So they all run downstairs because they're trying to get $10 to do lap dances and all kinds of whatever else the ballers want in the VIP section, right? So if she's in that category, stripper, hooker, or porn star, which I really wouldn't be surprised she is because her name sounds fake and also she has all her body parts look fake. That means that you're even more vulnerable because you're dealing with a person who sees you as a huge come up. She wasn't getting with Drake because she believes in love or she's a hopeless romantic. Dr. Alicia, my partner in life, she's a hopeless romantic. I make fun of her. I'm like, you would date a broke ass dude and live in a little cardboard box as long as he loved you. And she's like, yeah, I really would. I really would. She's like, so that's her category. And I peep that out. But then you've got some women that are in that category where it's like, the money will make me love you. Right. And now y'all know money and finance is my specialty. Financial psychology is my expertise. That's what I wrote my dissertation on. So there's a psychology behind this. Typically people, just like I was telling you how the women who've been abandoned by their fathers are more likely to get super clingy. Well, the same thing is true when it comes to women that grew up poor, right? That grew up where money was a huge stressor in their life, or where money was such a problem that it caused them to have to make terrible decisions, like maybe becoming a stripper or a porn star or hooker or whatever. Or they saw people die over money, or they went hungry over money. Like what happens is that they start attaching money to romantic interactions, right? Like I will love you more because you solve my financial problems. You give me financial security that I never had. So therefore I love you. So a woman like that, to me, is somebody where a Drake should be very careful about messing with women like that because, they see you as a come up. They see you as somebody who can provide a permanent income stream, maybe even a permanent platform. Like I'm sure maybe it's her dream to like be a backup dancer for Drake where she can shake that big plastic booty and in front of 10,000 people on tour. Drake, from what I read, she wanted to go on tour with Drake. She wanted Drake to take her on the rest of the tour. And Drake didn't, from what I understand. Drake sent her home for whatever reason. And guess what? That's when the allegations start popping off. That's when she's like, oh no, nigga, I ain't done with you yet. I still got your name. Now I'm attached to your name. So I can use your name and make money off your name. I can get on radio shows like Shade 45, which she was on, that shows that never would have listened to somebody like me. But now they'll listen to me because I'm the woman who slept with Drake, and I'm gonna make it real juicy for them. Then she goes into, oh, and Drake got me pregnant. And then she goes into Drake raped me, right? That's why I think Drake made a bad decision. So anyway, let me read more of these text messages. That this is where the warning signs kind of started popping through. I don't know if Drake picked up on this at the time, but this is what I'm reading here. So the next one says, and I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can look at it if you want to. While I share my screen, hit the thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. All right. So then she says, now pay attention. So Drake gives her the false hope on the 17th of February, where he says, I hope to see you soon. And then she comes back and says, okay, babe, same here. She says that the same night. Then a week or 3 days go by, right? Okay, so look at the 20th of February, 3 days. So she says, hey, hon, how are you? You feeling better? Right? And she's checking, like I love him. He's my hun now, like I'm using terms of endearment. He doesn't respond. Then the next day, that's when you start seeing the fangs come out. That's when you start, because she's hurt. Hurt people hurt people. That's a common statement. It's used by other people, but it's true. Hurt people hurt people. So now she's hurt. Now she's like, dang, he's not getting back to me. So then you start seeing a little venom come out. And she says, well, I hope you're feeling better. You told me you were sick the other day and I checked on you and you ignored me. I don't know what else to say. So that's when it starts to get messy, I mean, and now maybe at this point, this is when Drake said, you know what, I'm not going to respond to her. I got better women to talk to now. She doesn't interest me anymore. Whatever it is that people do, whatever he was thinking. But the thing is, later on, she starts coming in with these allegations of that he got me pregnant, and then another allegation that he raped me. So, pregnancy, the thing is, first of all, if they just had oral sex, I mean, you can't get pregnant that way. For those who don't know the birds and the bees, you can't get pregnant that way. But, if they did actually have sex, I mean, given that Drake did impregnate a porn star, I'll say it like this. If my daughter came home to me tomorrow and said, I'm going to marry the rapper Drake, and he's going to buy me a mansion and make my dreams come true, and he's going to create an endowment for my dad and give him $10 million. The first thing I would probably say to my daughter is, you need to get him thoroughly tested, because he could easily be very contaminated, because this man been running around the world fucking porn stars with no condom. When you sleep with somebody with no condom, I mean, you literally are sleeping with every person they've ever slept with. Porn stars sleep with a lot of people. That's what they do. They probably slept with as many people. If you count up the number of times you've eaten at a fast food restaurant, that's probably the same number of sex partners that a porn star has had. Add up the number of times you've gone to McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, or Chick-fil-A or whatever. Add up all those times, right? You probably went to fast food. Maybe some of y'all may eat fast food like, 3 times a week, something like that, right? 3 times a week over the course of a year is about 150 times. Over the course of a decade is 150 times 10, that's 1,500 times. That's about the number of people that a porn star has slept with in the last decade. That's probably a good way to estimate how many people they fuck. Now, don't forget Arby's, right? You throw in Arby's and you got an even bigger number, but you get the point here. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not dissing or making any sort of I'm not clowning anybody or trying to be a spoil sport or to be a jerk or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say is that if my daughter told me she was going to marry a Drake, I wouldn't necessarily consider that to be a win, because unfortunately, Drake, being an alpha male that he is, because that's the way it is in the animal kingdom. All the females want to sleep with the alpha male. The alpha male is the strongest, the most successful, whatever it is, right? There's a good chance he could be contaminated. There's a good chance maybe you'll be infertile if you start having unprotected sex with this guy who's been all around the world, because you may get cervical cancer because you're getting all these porn stars injected into your body. Right? All these porn stars are being injected in you because he's been sleeping with porn stars without a condom. Tiger Woods, same thing. And so that's the part that will make me worry about him. Now let me read, but at the same time though, I'm happy that he's filing the lawsuit. I think it's great. I think it's very good. He should sue the woman. I think he should stand up for himself. I think that he's making a clear point that as Black men, you're also very vulnerable in this Me Too era. And that's another reason to kind of be thoughtful about, what you do with your body. I'm not telling you what to do with your body. I mean, we don't tell women what to do with their bodies. I don't believe in telling men what to do with their bodies. But I am here to say that, maybe protecting your body is a good move for you, right? And that, is up to you how you move forward with that. At the very least, you would know that if you choose to lay down with a woman in this environment, just know that when you choose to lay down with that woman, you're making yourself vulnerable to that woman. She then has the power. You're transferring power. That's what we call in finance. We call that moral hazard. Moral hazard is a transfer of power from one person to another. Moral hazard is a hazard. It means now that you transfer the power over, you become vulnerable. So the best way to protect yourself from a moral hazard issue is to vet out the person that you transfer the power to, right? So if I just sleep with, a porn star or some chick with plastic body parts and named Layla Lace, and without knowing if she's crazy, without knowing if she's diseased, without knowing if she's gonna, have a vendetta, then I'm making myself vulnerable. And for a guy like Drake, that's a big deal because Drake is worth probably $100 million. And Drake has worked very hard to be one of the most successful performers on earth. And so when you are in that condition, when you're in that position where you're one of the most successful black men on the planet, it's kind of a paradox, an oxymoron in a way. It's at very least maybe contradictory, hypocritical, whatever term you want to use, that our black men who are in the most, who have the most to lose, are also the first ones to risk it all by sleeping with random jump offs. I have heard some stories that you cannot believe. I have heard stories about women who look for rappers and famous guys who love jump offs just so they can set them up to be robbed by their boyfriend gangbanger. I have heard stories about women using date rape drugs to put the guy to sleep so they can put their friend in the bed who's underage so they can extort money from him when they threaten to release the pictures to the media. I have heard stories like that. And so what I'm just trying to say is, I think that there should be a different process. Like if you're a guy like a Drake and you busted your ass, you're one of the best rapper singers in the world or whatever you are, you're making all this money, you probably have to have a different sexual process from everybody else. You can't just be like, oh, she looked good, take her in the back, let's get it in. Maybe, maybe there has to be a contract, like an agreement. Like I need you to sign this agreement saying that I'm not raping you, that you're agreeing to do this, that blah, 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 that you will not file suit, you will not do whatever. Even the agreement still isn't good enough, but maybe an agreement. And then text messages, saving text messages can go a long way. If she's sending you all these nasty pictures and everything else and telling you how much she wants you and wants to have sex with you again, that might protect you, because then you can say to the cops, like, look at these text messages. Do you really think that I raped this woman after, with all this stuff she's sending me? We had sex 20 times and every time she's texting me saying I want some more. That at least what it does is it gives you reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is what will save the black man. But unfortunately, what's really true, though, is that you still live in an era where everybody wants the black man to be the villain. They really want the man to be the villain, and the black man is the most vulnerable man that there is. So they're going to make the black man the villain before they make anybody else a villain. I think I agree with Sophie, an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Like, you're not going to go out here and go make money by telling everybody your story. Some people follow NDAs, some people ignore them, but at least you got something in writing so you can go back and sue. So, because remember, she's got very little to lose. Drake's got everything to lose. So if Drake files lawsuit against her, even if he wins and takes her for everything she's got, she obviously ain't got much, or she wouldn't be out here trying to like use Drake as a come up. So anyway, so it says Drake has filed a lawsuit against a woman who allegedly falsely stated that she was impregnated by the rapper and then accused him of sexual assault after the baby scam, as the lawsuit phrases it, failed. The suit, filed Tuesday at the Superior Court of California and obtained by Rolling Stone, accuses Layla Lace, her real name Laquana Moore, see, I told you that wasn't her real name, of civil extortion, fraud, defamation, abuse of process, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. In the lawsuit, Drake admits that he had consensual sex with Ms. Morris at a Manchester, England hotel in February 2017, but claims that Morris turned their encounter into a fantasy relationship. That happens a lot. I've really been fascinated by the depths of a lonely woman's imagination. I kid you not. I mean, and women, please tell me if this is true. I mean, I've really been amazed. Like, I've seen this where somebody literally in their head will make up a whole relationship. They literally will talk to you as if I never told you about my stalker story. Let me tell you about my stalker story. This ain't even funny because it scared me at the time, but it's over now, so I can laugh about it. There was a lady, she lived in Chicago, and she used to come to my events. And she was a overweight woman, pretty big. She's a big girl. Um, and um, and she seemed a little slow, right? A little slow. But it didn't matter. I loved her. I love everybody who supports me. You know, everybody who's like a quote unquote fan. I think the word fan is kind of a weird word to use, but it's whatever it is, whatever term you want to use. I appreciate it, you know. And so but I know it's like every time I did an event, she would always be there. Didn't matter where it was, you know, especially if it was somewhere in the Chicago area. Every time I did something, she was always there. And that's okay. Like, I don't think I've seen that too. I've seen where people really love you and support you, and 99.9% of them are not dangerous at all. But this woman, it was interesting. So I saw her, and one time she came to something, and I said, "Oh, there you are. Hey, good to see you." And I gave her a hug, and we walked down the street to go somewhere. And I said, "Come on, walk with us," you know, because I knew it was exciting for her. So I was, you know, okay doing that. And then I got a Facebook message. She would send me Facebook messages every now and then to tell me about things that are happening in the world and, you know, news stories. She'd say, "Hey, Dr. Boyd, you should talk about this in your podcast." I'm like, okay. And then one day she sent me a message where she said, "Dr. Boyce, I'm so sorry I let you down. You know, I'm in the mental hospital because blah, 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 blah. And I feel so bad because I let so many people down." And I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand it. The message didn't make any sense. It wasn't coherent, but I just messaged back and I said, "Look, don't worry. You're going to be all right. You didn't let anybody down. You just go get better. You just go heal. You just go take care of yourself." And then I didn't hear from her for maybe a month. And out of the blue, she starts sending me these really erotic messages. And she was texting these messages to me. I didn't give her my phone number. I did not give this lady my phone number. I don't recall giving her my number. I hope I didn't. And the messages are like, "Hey, babe, when you get home tonight, I'm going to give you some pussy on the kitchen table, and you can bend me over and smack my butt while you fuck me from behind." Like really graphic messages. And I was like, whoa. And I didn't at that point, I just didn't reply. I was like, okay, clearly she's lost her mind. Something went wrong. But the thing was, the messages kept coming. Every day she would message me. And then she even said stuff like, "I'm going to be over at your house today. I hope that you're ready. I hope you really want this pussy." Like, and I didn't even respond. I said nothing. And she did this for like 4 or 5 months. And I was like, what do I do? And I was like, okay, well, I guess one thing, I'm going to save these messages in case she ever comes out and says, "Boyce raped me," or "Boyce had sex with me," or whatever it is. But then also I was a little nervous that I was like, is she crazy? Like, maybe she's going to come try to kill me. Maybe she knows where I live or something. And it was weird, you know. And I think there was a point where I did message back one time and I said, "If you keep sending messages to me like this, I'm going to call the police. So please stop." And she didn't stop. So after that, I just stopped responding. And then, oh, I forgot to tell you, she also started calling my phone. And I saw where she was calling and I didn't answer. And I put in my phone, "do not answer," like for her name, so that I knew not to accidentally answer her call when she called me. Like, that was one of my stalkers. And believe it or not, I have a few of those actually. I have another one with a lady that showed up to my events in different cities, and it made me a little nervous. Like, it's odd that somebody would be there in New York and then be there in Cleveland and then be there in LA. But each time her behavior was very, very strange. And so when you get into a space where you're in the public eye, you can't sort of do what everybody else does. You know, like if I see you on the street and you say hi to me, I'm gonna say hi to you. I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna talk to you. All that stuff. But it's a different world. It's a different world. So I can't imagine what that world must be like for a guy like Drake, because he's deliberately positioned as a sex symbol to millions and millions of women. I can almost imagine that you would get to the point where, you know, you've had every type of woman offered to you that you can imagine. You've had every opportunity you could possibly have. There's a point in a man's life, I believe, where he becomes smart enough and mature enough to realize that having all the pussy that you can stomach, like literally having all the women that you could possibly handle, is more of a curse than a blessing. You know, it's more of a nuisance than anything else. You know, And I'm not trying to be all traditional and everything and say, oh, well, everybody should just have one man and one woman and blah, 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 blah. That's up to you to decide. That's on you. That's your decision. But what I am just here to say is that when we're fed this mindset that every black man is supposed to be a buck stud who's sleeping with everything that moves, what you're doing is you're putting black men in danger. You're killing them. Some of these guys get a stack of horrible diseases and they die. Some of your favorite celebrities that died when you thought they died of cancer, they were really dying of AIDS. Just nobody said it. No black family admits that that their son died of AIDS. A lot of them are going through, all kinds of hell from, unwanted pregnancies. A lot of them have been hit with false rape allegations from bitter women. So I think with Drake, I'm glad Drake is suing. I think that's great. But I almost see that almost like a form of preventative or a reactionary response that could have been dealt with by a little prevention. By the way, if you're on Instagram, they're about to kick you out, but just stay right there. I'm gonna bring you right back. But yeah, I think that with Drake, I almost feel like it could have been prevented by maybe taking your time. And I don't know what Drake's issue is with these porn stars. I guess that's just something he likes, and I'm not gonna judge that. But you got to just understand, guys, like, some of these women really get it in and they get around, and there's nothing that says that you're invincible when it comes to sex and women. Not only are you vulnerable to the diseases that can come with it, but also there are women that will set you up to be robbed or killed. And the other thing too is that I noticed that when people that don't have much going on get a chance to interact with you, especially on a deep level like sex is really deep for a lot of people. Think about it. It's the reason we all exist. Sex is one of the most important forces in the entire universe. It's the foundation for the creation of all human life. So when you engage in something as deep as sex with another person, sometimes they latch on and they're not going to let go. For some of them, that's the biggest moment of their life. You might think of it as just an orgasm, but it's for some people, it's the biggest thing that ever happened in their life. Now, Stack Hap says, I need my refund. I don't know what refund you're referring to, but if you need a refund from us, email support@theblackbusinessschool.com. That's support@theblackbusinessschool.com. Just explain your situation, Stack Hap, and they'll take good care of you. I don't know what it is, maybe for the convention or something like that. But speaking of that, the All Black National Convention is happening very, very soon at the end of next week. So if you'd like to get together with Black people who believe in creating our own businesses, educating our own children, creating our own jobs, then come to the All Black National Convention. We just had a meeting. We're super excited. And actually, I just shared this post on my Instagram, and I'm gonna share it with you. And it actually shows a little bit about what we believe in. And it shows like before integration, we were not afraid to educate our own children. You see that picture of distinguished looking Black men in suits and ties. You don't see that no more. That's not the image of Blackness anymore. Now the image of Blackness, unfortunately promoted by mainstream white media, is typically, brothers with their pants sagging, wearing wife beater shirts and all that. That ain't a Black man. That ain't what a man looks like. What a man looks like is a man who's ready to go out and conquer the world, ready to go out and fight. He ain't got to wear a suit and tie, but he also ain't supposed to be wearing, pants sagging down his ass so somebody can stick something in his butt. Like that's prison wear. That's not what Black men are supposed to be. And the thing is that integration, a lot of people believe integration was good for Black people, but it's not good for Black people. It's not good. It wasn't, it doesn't mean that we don't deserve freedom to shop where we want, do what we want, but integration certainly diluted our community. So let's just be clear about that. Let's see, Stackcaps, your people are not responding. No, when you email support, also respond to copy manager@boycewatkins.com. And you can even copy me at boyce@boycewatkins.com. We'll make sure you get taken care of. So the only way they maybe won't respond is maybe if it's a dispute that they can't resolve. Like if it's something that, like we sometimes you'll have somebody that's just so unreasonable and mad and they want something that we can't give them. Then that happens, but it's very rare. We have very, very high customer satisfaction, 98%. Thank you, Sean. Enough respect. Well, I respect you too. I appreciate you very much. So if you want to know about the convention, you want to get a pass to come out, you can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. Also, put this URL in for the live stream. It's abncdigital.com. That's abncdigital.com. If you want to watch the convention via live stream because you can't make it, you can go to abncdigital.com. The first month is free. Make sure you hit the like button, the share button, the subscribe button. And last but not least, if you want some books for your kids or apparel or videos, we have films, we have digital lectures that you can download, like how to build your own family bank, things like that. You can actually go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good day. And I wish Drake good luck in his lawsuit. I'm not here to pretend like I understand his life, but I do understand a little bit about, relationships and women and all that. And I can tell you that if you think that relationships and wealth are not connected, then you haven't lived more than 2 or 3 years. Relationships and wealth are deeply connected. In Africa, wealth grows more freely for certain families because their family is a part of their wealth building process. In the United States, the reason we have trouble building wealth is because we can't keep our families together. So family and wealth are deeply connected, and family starts from relationships, who you sleep with, who you associate with. So when I talk about relationship stuff, it's not me just being dramatic and saying, oh no, Drake got a chick and he got a baby's mom and all that. No. I'm talking about it from a connective standpoint, to say that if you don't manage your relationships properly, you will never manage your wealth properly. And the reason you will never manage your wealth properly is because you will never have any wealth. If you don't believe me, go look at a brother who got 7 kids with 6 women and see how good he is at building wealth. He can't build no wealth because the brother's paying so much money out in child support that he has nothing to give to the children that are in his home. So keep that in mind. Be smart. Think about all of this. Remember, it all connects. Email address again, stackcap support@theblackbusinessschool.com. Also manager@boycewatkins.com. Also, last but not least, don't forget allblacknationalconvention.com if you want to know more about the convention. It's the best Black convention in America because we actually focus on solutions. We put Black people first at all times. There is no corporate sponsorship. There's no sponsorship from the Democratic Party or the Republican parties. And also, we talk about the things that they don't let you talk about on social media. We allow all perspectives to be laid on the table so Black people can make our own decisions. So we're the first of its kind. It's very powerful. It's very, very unique. And you're going to love it. There's nobody who comes to the All Black National Convention who does not leave feeling like their life has been changed. And that's the goal. We want you to see your own personal power, implement strategies within your own home that will allow your children to be successful, and you're going to love it. So let's see here. Vivian says, thanks, Dr. Watkins. I urge my 18-year-old son to listen to your channel. Well, please, Vivian, tell your 18-year-old son that that he has a very wise mother, and also tell him that his mother is a moderator on my YouTube channel. So I just added you as a moderator. And so that means you can help Dual Victory kick out the trolls and manage the conversation. And It's a Breeze says, is it a live stream? Yes, there's a live stream. It's abncdigital.com. It's abncdigital.com. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys soon. Be